Since the dawn of human time, mankind has feared this day that comes every week like a recurring nightmare. The day that brings inevitable suffering and long-lasting pain. The day most commonly known as Leg Day. However, there is one group of infamous individuals that specializes in avoiding the horrors of Leg Day. Some people look at them as heroes, others see them as villains. But them, they prefer to be called calisthenics athletes.
It's the yellow Diablo, cooler than gelatos. Slide into that bitch and show.
So, you started training calisthenics and noticed that a lot of the athletes rarely talk about legs. Why is that? Simply put, most people that get into calisthenics started because they were interested in all the cool looking upper body skills that they see on social media. Very rarely do you hear someone say, "Oh, I started calisthenics because I saw someone do a dragon squat and thought it was super impressive." It's usually the planches and the front levers that gets us going. From the start, there's very low interest in training legs, but just because the interest is low, doesn't mean that all of us doing calisthenics should skip legs entirely. I believe that there are three main categories that you can fall into when it comes to leg training as a calisthenics athlete. So let's discuss all three, and I'll break down how you should go about your leg training according to which category you belong to. The balanced athlete is someone who cares about having all-around athleticism. He wants the calisthenic skills, but he also wants legs that can keep up in terms of strength, explosiveness, flexibility, and endurance. He doesn't care too much about aesthetics as long as he looks fairly athletic and in shape. He enjoys playing a lot of sports and wants the calisthenics training to contribute to his performance. Therefore, skipping legs is not an option. If you identify with this category, I believe you should use a lot of the plyometric style of training where the focus is power and explosiveness. This would include things like sprints, jump squats, jumping lunges, box jumps, etc. You can modify and adjust the exact exercise selection for it to match whichever sport you like. Combine that with pistol squats and sissy squat progressions for quad strength, Nordic hamstring curl progressions for hamstring strength, as well as a glute bridge variation for glute strength, and you will have a proper balanced workout. As it says in the name, the aesthetic calisthenics athlete wants to look aesthetic and muscular while still being able to do the impressive upper body calisthenics skills. He desires a good looking physique, and that includes the legs. Therefore, he doesn't mind making his calisthenics progress a bit slower due to heavier legs. Anything to avoid being bullied by kids on TikTok for having chicken legs. Now, this athlete generally doesn't care much for leg skills either, so he chooses the most efficient way of building leg muscles: lifting weights. So, for those of you that identify with the aesthetic athlete class, I encourage you to train legs like a bodybuilder would. Meaning you should utilize dumbbells, barbells, and machines to stimulate your muscles to grow in the most effective way possible. This is personally what I do. Now, I do understand that some of you do calisthenics partly because you might not have access to a gym. So for those of you that this applies to, you should do bodyweight exercises, but with a backpack filled with anything heavy you can get your hands on. The way you structure your workouts though should still resemble that of a bodybuilder's as much as possible. Last but not least, we have the performance athlete. This type of calisthenics athlete only cares about achieving peak level, gravity-defying skills. These are the people you will see doing planches on 2 fingers and other ridiculous things that make Newton himself turn in his grave. Oftentimes, this is an athlete that either competes at a high level or is trying to break records. This is the rarest class of calisthenics athlete, but if you do happen to fall into this category, you probably already know what kind of leg training applies to you. And that is the art of skipping legs. Okay guys, those were the 3 main classes of calisthenics athletes when it comes to leg training. Keep in mind that it is possible you belong to a mix of 2 classes, or that you change classes over your calisthenics journey, and that's completely fine. Just remember that there is not one singular best way of doing things, so you shouldn't always copy someone else's workouts, and instead adjust your training to your personal goals. That's my final message for you guys. Comment down below what class of athlete you think you belong to, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more calisthenics content.
Peace. Bitch, if you keep talking, we can get busy. Get rich or die trying, feeling like feed. Ball like trouble.